Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're doing well, I hope you're having a good FPL season, and I hope you had a great Game Week 16, guys. So welcome to Game Week 15, of course, and welcome to this week's deadline stream, which is obviously Game Week 16. And crocodile. Oh, you heard my whistling? I thought no, my mic was off. Hey, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks. So guys, you know, this is a time of the season when the fixtures are congested, teams are busy, too many injuries are happening, small niggles, hamstrings, calf injuries. It happens at this time of the season because the Christmas schedule is just punishing on the bodies of the players who have to play in week out. So this is for example, if you can see my team, I brought in Son and Mbumo just like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and then they got injured. Not maybe Son, maybe I think he just got a knock. Mbumo was out for weeks potentially. So this is the time of the season when we need players, when we need our bench strength, and we need to bring in those players only who we feel that are nailed on for their teams and gonna play 90 minutes, and they have the the ability or the physical strength as well to kind of play. So yeah, we're gonna discuss all that in due course subsequently, of course. So I just want to tell you that last week was obviously, again guys, kind of week. My goalkeeper Areola, for some reason he got injured. He injured his wrist. He was benched, and Fabianski played. And like West Ham went away to Spurs and they won. So I don't know what's going on. It's just a crazy season. At the start of the season, Spurs looked like they were going to run away and it's going to beat everybody. They're going to play that fantastic Ange Postecoglou ball, and everything was going to be rosy for them. And now they're back. They're not playing bad football. Until the City game, I was still positive about them, but against West Ham United, they looked a little bit out of sorts, I have to say. This is the first time I'm saying this about Ange Postecoglou Spurs this season. They've always looked threatening, even when they did not have players, when they were they had injuries, they had suspensions. They still played good. Against West Ham, they were not that good at all. Maybe it was that West Ham were really good, I don't know. But in the end, my Son move did not work. I brought Son in for a hit and it did not work. Mbumo, obviously I brought in last week and again did not work. Mbumo was injured. So guys, again, languishing in the bottom half of the FPL rank does not help me at all. But you're just gonna keep plugging, guys. Keep hoping that the variance falls our way. Just gonna try to make the right decisions, and just believe in how we play. That's all I'm gonna do, at least this season, and try to push up as high as possible in terms of that overall rank. So not discussing too much, guys. I don't think is to discuss too much about my own team, so I'm just gonna move on to what transfers I've already made. I've taken another hit, so this is the second hit of the season. I do not want it to become a commonplace, but I think that my team warranted that I take a hit, because I might roll my transfer next week, and and then I might make 2 transfers before game week 18, which is a blank game week potentially. So that is why I wanted to make 2 transfers this week, so I can roll my transfer next week, unless again a big issue comes up, Son is out for weeks or something like that. I possibly would like to roll my transfer next week. So let's see what happens there. So this is my team, guys. I've already made my 2 transfers. I've written my transfers in the comments as well. So I took out Brian Mbumo, and I took out Turner, and I brought in Gordon and Dubravka for a -4 hit. And this is how my team is lining up. I kept Areola just in the hope that maybe Areola comes back and he gets his place back into the team. And Dubravka and Ariola actually have a really good, decent rotation later on in the season. So I'm just hoping that it works out for me. In any case, so I brought in Gordon and I brought in Dubravka. Captain is going to be Haaland and the vice captain is going to be Salah. So that is all about my own team, guys. So let's come back and now answer your questions if you have any. So hey Cinema Crazy, welcome. Hey Sir Crocodile, Zara, Michael, Cinema Crazy, again welcome to the stream, guys. Let's see what you have to say. So Livramento, a good captain, good option. Yeah, Livramento is a good option. Yes, I think in the short term, Livramento is a good option for sure. I think if Hall is back or if Hall is playing, I think Livramento might even get a chance to play further up, which might be good for his attacking potential. So I think short term Livramento is for these Christmas fixtures. I think definitely Livramento is a good option. CAVA, welcome to the stream, my friend. He says, my team is in a crisis. Did Mbumo to Palmer before the price changes? Still have one free transfer, but I think I'm taking a -4. What is that crisis, my friend? If you can tell me, and then I'll potentially give you some opinion on that. Sir Crocodile says Foden is a good option. I think Foden is a good option, especially for for this week. But the problem is, in game week 18, then Manchester City are going to blank. So if you've got a set team and you don't have any injuries or suspensions to kind of deal with, then bringing him in for this week against Luton Town seems like a good idea to double up on that City attack and kind of try to gain some differential points kind of from Foden. But you have to bring him realizing that is going to be blanking in game week 18. So if you can deal with the blank, I think Foden is definitely a decent enough option to bring in. Yes, I think so. Basically, it's all about planning about game week 18 for me. If you see, I've taken another hit, and I've taken that hit based on the fact or based on the planning that I'm going to kind of roll my transfer next week so that I can make 2 transfers in game week 18. So that is what we have to kind of plan a little bit ahead of the future. And as you can see, I've brought in Palmer, I've brought in Colville. So that is again planning for the future. I've brought in Gordon and I've brought in Dubravka. So all this planning, basically, if you see the fixtures, you'll see what I'm doing here. I'm planning for the upcoming weeks, not necessarily this week, because Gordon did not have a nice fixture this week, but I'm planning for these weeks, so I'm always looking ahead, I'm always planning ahead. As you can see why I got Palmer, because the fixtures are gonna turn. This for the similar reasons I got Colville, the same fixtures as Palmer, obviously. Sorry. So there you go, Colville, good fixtures, starting most of the games, chips in with a goal and an assist sometimes. So all in all, you have to look ahead a little bit. That is exactly what I did with kind of Son as well. But unfortunately, because the fixtures are a little bit turning for Spurs now after the Newcastle game. But the thing is, Spurs just look kind of out of sorts right now. Ange Postecoglou ball not working that much. Gordon doesn't feel a right hunch. Important game versus Milan midweek. I know, Sir Crocodile, but it is not about this week potentially for me. It is about the longer term, because I wanted Gordon for the next 3 games, and the fact that I kind of brought in Gordon now is because next week I want to roll my transfer, and I do not want to kind of make 2 transfers next week or 1 transfer next week, so that I can make potentially 2 or 3 if needed in game week 18. So I'm just gonna weigh up my options and gonna think what happens. Michael says, hey Wiz, my team is Ariola, Dubravka, so you got 2 keepers, Gabriel, Shimikash, Udogi, Son, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Adengra, Haaland, Watkins. Alright, sub cash, Gehi, Mbama. 2 free transfers, 0.1 in the bank. What do I do? Potentially the goalkeeping is fine. Gabriel, Shimikash is okay. Udogi is alright, of course. I really think that Poro is the better option than Udogi, but since you already have Udogi, then you can obviously stick with him. Salah, Saka, Palmer, Adengra. The midfield looks good to me as well. I mean, but you don't really need to do anything per se, Michael. I think the team looks good, but since you have a transfer to kind of spare, I think you should at this moment in time you should possibly, either if you want, but you don't have the money, right? Otherwise I would have just told you to do Udogie to Pedro Porro. That would have been a luxury move, but I think one which is worth it. Udogie has very less attacking threat as compared to Pedro Porro, who's on set pieces, corners and stuff as well. So but you don't have the money for that move. So I'd say why don't you just go about strengthening your bench, if that is possible for you to do. So Gavin says, hey Wiz, hey Gavin, I hope you're doing well, my friend. CAV says keepers are Johnston, Ariola, have Mitchell, Cash, still have Diaby. Alright, so Diaby is obviously not playing, Cash is not playing, Mitchell is injured. Yeah, I get that. So you're thinking Johnston plus Mitchell to James plus Dubravka. CAV, if you ask me, to be honest with you, I would stay a little bit away from James right now, because Reece James is a very injury prone player, and I mean, if you see what's happening, the fixture congestion coming up, especially in the Christmas period, he might not start all the games. So if you can accept that, then only you should go for Reece James. Else I'd recommend you to go for somebody else, like one which is more nailed on. That is what I would like to say to you. Otherwise Dubravka is obviously fine. There's no problems there, my friend. Gavin says Sterling or Bowen for Mbumo. What do you think? I would go with Sterling, Gavin. The thing is, one thing about Sterling is that he's playing most of the games. Second, Chelsea have got good fixtures, and third, again, West Ham play in Europe as well. So Bowen is kind of was kind of had fluid in his knee. Yes, he scored. He played the full game against Spurs, but I still, I think the lesser the fixtures, the better. And Sterling is a very important player for Chelsea. So I would, based on the fixtures, I would go for Sterling just over Jared Bowen. Yessa says, hi Wiz, I have 2 free transfers. Was thinking of getting in James for Gehi and Bowen for Mbumo. Thoughts? I think, see, again, I just talked about Bowen versus Sterling. I think Bowen is, in himself, he's a decent enough option. He's the talisman of West Ham. Whenever West Ham are going to score goals, I think Bowen is going to be involved. The only thing is, do you really want West Ham players at this juncture is a doubt, obviously. But I think in isolation, the Bowen transfer from Mbumo to Bowen is very popular, and I think is fine. Again, with James, yes, as I was just discussing, I think the busy Christmas schedule does not bode well in terms of the minutes for James, because he's a very injury prone player coming back, trying to gain match sharpness, fitness, and so he might not play all the games. So if you're ready to accept that, then I think you should definitely you can go for James. Girit says start Branthwaite or Saliba. I would start Saliba. If you have him, you start him, Girit. I don't think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet, but I don't think Everton are going to keep it either. Against Newcastle, it was a great performance, I have to say, but not for the lack of, like, Newcastle could have scored many times. Let me tell you. They just lost it. Once the goal went in, I think the confidence took a hit of Newcastle, and then they tried to really quickly get back into the game and conceded. I think it was 2 individual errors by Trippier really in that game. Who should I start, Turner or Areola? Start any of those 2, Navneet. Neither of them are going to play this week. Hey Wiz, doubling up on Arsenal defense. Sarfaroz, I think the thing is, doubling up on Arsenal defense this week, I don't think it's a good option. Even in the near future, they're having a game week 18 game against Liverpool. Next week they play against Brighton. This week they're playing against Aston Villa, West Ham. I don't think this is a good idea to double up on the Arsenal defense. Personally, if you ask me, I'd say no. Michael says cash to Colville. I think that's a good move to make, Michael. I would do cash to Colville, yes. Jackson, I've written my transfers in the pinned tweet at the top. I took out Mbumo and Turner for Dubravka and Gordon. Faz says Tyrek to 5.5 million defender. Already have Saliba, Kabore, and Baldock. Tyrek, I don't really rate too many defenders in that price bracket at this moment in time. Obviously, either the good ones are really expensive in Trippier and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Otherwise, I think simply you can go with somebody like Colville. You don't need to spend that much money actually, and save some money, so that you can deploy it in other places in your team. Because I don't think there's a really good five. I mean, Pedro Porro is obviously coming to mind. If you want to go there, but I don't think Spurs are going to keep too many clean sheets is the issue. So if you want to get Pedro Porro, you have to accept that it is only going to be for the attacking points which he gets, and he does get a lot. So that could be something which you want to consider. So I'd say Colville or Pedro Porro would be my options. Start Areola or Dubravka. I'd start Dubravka because I don't think that Areola is going to start. If you feel that Areola has a better fixture, which I think he does not, because Fulham away is going to be a very tough game. Fulham scored 3 goals against Liverpool. They scored 5 goals last week. I don't think it's going to be an easy game anyway. But yes, if you want, you can put Areola in the team and Dubravka on the bench. In case Areola doesn't start, Dubravka will come in anyway. So CAV says, yeah, I agree, not sold on James, can't afford the top options and don't fancy Colville and other Chelsea defenders. Really unsure, but Mitchell is going. I mean, to be honest with you, CAV, there are no really good options in the Chelsea defense as in terms of attack. So obviously that is the reason everybody wants to go for Reece James. But to be honest with you, at this juncture or at this moment in time, I'm more concerned about players who will play, So I think Colville is going to play a lot of games. He can play as a third left centre back, or he can play as a, left back, left wing back. So a lot of positions which Colville is fit to play. And I think Pochettino trusts Colville. So that's the reason I went for Colville personally. But I agree Mitchell should go. Surfro says, thanks, Wiz. You're welcome. My friend Michael says, thanks. You're welcome, Michael. Always welcome. Faz says, Mbumo to which 7.9 million midfielder. Already have Mitoma and Kudus. There is no really good 7.9 million midfielder, Faz, I have to say. Either you have to go up to somebody like Son, or Saka, in that price bracket, or then you have to think about somebody like Gordon. Even you can think about Szoboszlai from Liverpool. I think he's been ticking along nicely. He's not the explosive players which you really want, but I think Szoboszlai is a decent option from Liverpool as well. Other than that, obviously you've got your usual players in Gordon and Palmer. Although they are not 7.9 million, they'll save you some money, but they're equally good options, I'll tell you. Martinelli I would not go for, although he's 7.8 million. I would not go for Martinelli. I think at the price bracket that he's at, he's not returning enough FPL points. Although he's playing good in football terms, in FPL terms I think he's not returning enough value for money, I'd say. Tyrek to Walker or Ruben. Faz, I mean, if you want you can do it, but you have to remember that after 2 game weeks they're gonna blank. So if you have enough to cover to kind of cover the blank, then you can go for Walker, I'd say. Ruben Diaz, has been hot and cold this season. I'm not sure if he's going to keep his place, is the issue. Hi Wiz, thoughts on Mbumo to Wong. I think that's a good move, Zara. I think Wong has been in a good form. Hee-chan Wong. I think he's been doing well. And he's a good option, of course. Wolves are playing well too. So I see no reasons not to get Wong. I think it's good. Hey Todd, welcome to the stream. He says, hi everybody, sounds like no drama today. Zen. Yeah, Todd, I think I prefer it this way, to be honest with you. I make my transfers, I come to this stream, I've got nothing to do except to answer the questions, so I can focus as well, better focus as well. So yeah, no dramas. As long as there's a crazy team news or something like that, or early league news, I think there's gonna be no drama today. Yasa says my team is Dubravka, Areola, Gehi, Cash, Trippier, Taylor, Gabriel. Oops, the deadline counter is stuck again. I forgot. I always forget. Thank you so much for the reminder, my friend Jug. I'm gonna I'm absolutely gonna make it right in the matter of seconds. Just like that, we got our timer back. I hope it is fixed now. Yes, it is. Right on. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Jugs, and thank you for the heads up. So I was reading Yesas's team. So it's Dubravka, Ariola. So both, obviously Dubravka is the only one who's going to play. To be honest with you, all us Ariola owners, including myself, we should be concerned about the way Fabianski played against Spurs. I think if Fabianski, if Ariola stays injured for 1 or 2 more games, and Fabianski, I think he can easily steal away his place, and it's going to be a problem in the near future. I kept Dubravka, Ariola and got Dubravka in place of Turner, just hoping that I could rotate the 2 keepers. But I can tell you that there can be there can be a situation in which actually Ariola loses his place as well. No, it is just the fact that once the goalkeeper gets a chance and he performs well, the manager does not want to take him out easily. We have to kind of consider that. So anyways, Dubravka, Ariola, Gehi is fine. Cash, Trippier, Taylor, Gabriel, Palmer's have 2 free transfers. Any moves you'd like to suggest? Right. So Mbumo obviously has to go, and Gehi, Cash. I think Cash and Mbumo have to go. I would love it if you can afford Haaland, especially this week, my friend. I think it's a big miss to not own Haaland against Luton, man. But I think Haaland was really angry last week. I think he's gonna score some goals this week. But if you cannot get to Haaland, I think you can, if you can take out Cash for Lascelles or somebody like that, and you can upgrade Mbumo to Foden. I think that can also kind of serve your purpose for the short term. So that could be an option for you, Yesas. But I think Mbumo and Cash have to go. They are your first priorities. So yeah, moving on, guys. Himayun says Captain Bowen over Haaland. How much risk is it? You already know how much risk it is. I mean, do you think Bowen has an easy fixture? I mean, Fulham away. Do you really think it's an easy fixture, my friend? It is not, guys. I think a lot of us are underestimating teams like Fulham and Bournemouth. They are not easy fixtures anymore, guys. They are like, we're just thinking, yeah, it is a relegation fighting team, Bournemouth. Yes, Fulham is fighting for relegation. No, guys, they're different teams. They're playing well. So we have to kind of give them credit for what they're worth. We can't just put everybody in the same bracket. Even Luton Town, look at how they played against Arsenal last week. They scored 3 goals. They were almost going to draw the game. So we have to give them credit for what they are. So if you see Fulham's output, they won 5-0 against Nottingham. Can you believe it? They scored 3 goals at Anfield. 3 goals at Anfield. They almost kind of they drew against Liverpool at Anfield, but Trent scored a late goal. They beat Wolves. So you have to consider that they are a good team, my friend. They're not an easy team to play against. So why would you take a chance of captaining Bowen? I would not personally captain Bowen over Haaland at all, my friend. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not telling you I'm right. I've been wrong. I have been wrong this season. My overall rank is 3.5 million. So whatever I'm saying, you don't have to believe it. But in my personal opinion, I would not captain Bowen over Haaland. Trippier or Trent? I think Trippier offers better value for money, and the upcoming fixtures also suggest that Trippier could be a good option. My Lataf says, Wiz, you are a big sexy beast. We love your live streams, bro. Thank you so much, Lataf. I love it that you can spare some time and join the streams, my friend, and I hope you're doing well this season. Todd says, thanks for the advice last week. Wisdom scored me 10 points more than I would have scored on my own. Awesome, Todd. I absolutely love that, my friend. Um, Up and above, my friend. Up and above. I'd love that. And you're most welcome. Bilva could be another cheap enabler, you reckon, Wiz? Jugs, he can be an enabler, yes. But the problem with Bilva is he's not playing in positions which are influencing the attack too much. The problem, I mean, last week was obviously the problem why City lost to Aston Villa was because Rodri was suspended because of his 5 yellow cards, and John Stones was playing in the same position, and he is not like 25% the same in the same position as Rodri. Yes, Stones did all right, but Rodri is a different beast. So Bernardo Silva could be a decent option, but the problem is he's never going to get a consistent attacking return, kind of a season, because one, he's in and out of the team. Two, he doesn't score too many goals in this City team, especially since Haaland has joined. So yeah, he could be an enabler, but that's all he could be. Livramento or Colville? Thakif, I think they're both great options, because Livramento also has, like, if you see the fixtures, Newcastle have 3 decent enough fixtures coming up: Fulham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Colville, if you see, also has some decent fixtures coming up. Actually, a long list of good fixtures for Chelsea, actually. Livramento, I think, is a little bit more attacking threat than Colville, especially if Hall starts on left back and Livramento gets a chance to play a little bit further forward. I think that is a really good, really good option if that happens. Basically, so yeah, if I had to choose between these two, I'd possibly go with Colville, Thakif, because of the longer duration of the good fixtures. And personally, I mean, Livramento, I'm not sure how long he's going to maintain his place in the team, especially with Hall coming back now. If he loses his place on left back, where is he going to play? All these questions make me go for Colville more. Yasas says, thanks, Wiz. May the arrows be green. You're welcome, Yasas, and definitely may the arrows be green, my friend. Faz says, I'm in the top 100k this season, but you have helped me the past 3-4 seasons. One bad rank from you this season doesn't change the fact that you have helped so many FPL managers over the years. Thank you so much, Faz, for the kind words, man. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. And I'm glad to know that you're in the top 100k this season, man. Keep it up and just, go as high as possible. Being in the top 100k at this moment means that top 10k, elusive top 10k is definitely within your grasp. Play your chips right and you'll be there, my friend. And I'd love that. Any update on Son's fitness? Unfortunately, Jugs, I think that the turnaround was so little during this, because the matches literally were 2 days ago, and we've got another game week, so we did not have chance for too much news to trickle through. But according to what I've heard or what I've read on the forums, the blogs, the predicted lineups and stuff, I personally think that Son is going to be fine. And on that note, again, I'd like to take you to the predictions. I always like to do them on my stream because I use them for my own update. So I always would like to show you, because you should know what is my source of information and where it is coming from. So let's see what the Spurs fans have to think about whether they think Son is going to start or not. Liverpool, I'll show you all of them. I'm not going to take too much time. So according to the fans, 100% of the fans think that Son is going to start. Again, the doubt is between Richarlison and Pap Matar Sarr, but I think Sarr is going to start normally. I think there's not going to be any issue. Otherwise, everybody is fixed. Vicario, Romero, Udogi, Davies, Poro, they're all fixed. Now, because Romero's back, Emerson Royal obviously drops out. Kulusevski, Bissouma, Lo Celso. I think Sarr is going to start this one. He's back. Son and Brennan Johnson. So I think 100% of the fans who actually follow Tottenham think that Sarr is going to start. With Newcastle, Dubravka 100%, 90% Trippier. Obviously, people are just speculating. I think Trippier is going to start. Share, Livermento, Lascelles, and Hall again. 14% of the people seem to think that Hall's going to start. See, if Hall comes at left back, the problem is if Hall, like Livermento, if he plays, he can play on right back, left back, right? If Hall plays, he can only play on left back. So that means that Livermento has to move from there. But I personally don't think that Hall's going to start this week. But with a lot of important fixtures like Milan game midweek coming up, and Newcastle have to win that game to kind of qualify for the Champions League group stages. So a lot of uncertainties. But I personally think this is going to be the team. Lascelles, Livermento, Share, Trippier, Dubravka, Bruno Guimaraes, Miley, Jolinton, Almiron, Gordon, and Isaac. No doubts here, guys. Absolutely clear from the fans. Chelsea, again, you can see with Colwill, 95% of the fans, for everybody who are considering whether to go with Colwill or not, 95% of the fans think that Colwill is going to start. Obviously Sanchez 100%. Reece James, by the way, if any of you were thinking about Reece James, I never said that he's a doubt to start this game. I just said that due to the fixture congestion coming up, he might miss a few games. So yes, this game James is prime to start. Badiashile, Disasi, again 50-50. Bilba or Bernardo Silva is going to start. Thiago Silva is going to start 90%. Gallagher 95, I think 100%. Gallagher. Enzo, Caicedo. The Liverpool team is out. The Crocodile says Liverpool team is out. Awesome. So it might be on Twitter. Hang on, let me check. If it is out, I'll tell you. Just a second. Let me go and check on if I'll have. Where is the Liverpool team and why can't I see it? Nobody shared it on my Twitter. Hey, Sir Crocodile, who are you getting this information from? Can you tell me? Because I am on Twitter as well and I cannot. Yeah, there you go. Who is this FPL Goldfish? Nah. I think that's just a guy. That is the rumor team, says Spion Cop. So there's a rumor team, guys. Again, I'm sharing it with you. I'm not saying that this is because Spion Cop saying it is a rumored team, right? Rumored, guys. I'm sharing it and I'm writing rumored team. Later on, do not blame me, alright? Alisson, Trent, Konsa, Van Dijk, Shimikash, Endo, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Salah, Nunes, Diaz. So this is the rumor team on Twitter, guys. So you can take it with a pinch of salt and have a look in case it helps you. Alright? So before I make the predictions, let me answer one or two more questions. Douglas Luiz, any good replacement with 5.8? I think you can keep Douglas Luiz, Sarfroz, if you want to. At 5.8, there are no really good replacements. Garnacho is the only one that comes to mind. Start Livermento or Gabriel? I would start Livermento. I would start a difficult one. I'd start maybe Livermento just for the attacking threat. But it is difficult, Himayu. Very difficult, bro. Thank you for the update, Sir Crocodile. Michael says start Colwill, Udogie or Cash and rank in order, please. So I think number 1 for me is Colwill, number 2 is Udogie, and number 3 is Cash, Michael. Jackson says best Mbeumo replacement. I don't have Palmer. Then Palmer is your man, Jackson. Go for Palmer. Watched Garnacho against Chelsea, looked very sharp. I think he's a good differential, Gavin. Yes. The problem with United is the team overall is not clicking that much. Yes, they won, but the goals were scored by both of them were scored by Scott McTominay. But yeah, I mean you can go with Garnacho. I like him as well. Mbeumo to Garnacho or Foden. Sylvester, I think you can go for both of them. They're both good options. Foden obviously unfortunately blanks in game week 18, so if you can cover the blank, I think I'd prefer Foden. If you cannot cover the blank and you do not kind of want to make unnecessary transfers, then I would go for Garnacho. Michael says who's the best captain, vice captain? According to me, the best captain undoubtedly is Haaland. This week they play against Luton, guys. Come on, I mean they play against Luton. And Haaland's gonna have a field day. I hope against that team. Secondly, I think Salah can be obviously a good option against. Although Crystal Palace is a stingy team, do not concede too many goals. But I think Liverpool are in a form of their life this season. They're playing really well. Defensively, they're not so good, but I think attacking wise, they're good. Liverpool. So I'd say Salah, good vice captain. Beyond that, again, the usual suspects. Son is there, but I wouldn't go there. Same with maybe if someone owns a United player in Bruno Fernandes, he could be an outside shout, but he missed a penalty. So personally, I think I would not go outside Haaland and Salah as of now. Right, let's go back to the predictions, guys. I've given some of the answers, so let's go back to the predictions really quickly. So I've done this one. Sterling 100% in case anybody is interested. Palmer 100%. Anybody who's thinking to bring him in. Palmer is 100%. United, I don't think anybody would really interested. Mainly Dillo and Van Bissaka and Reguilon. 76% of the people think Reguilon is going to start. Rashford is 14%. Anthony 95%. Garnacho 100%. Anybody who's interested in Garnacho, you can see he's 100% predicted to start. Right, let's go back. And Spurs I've discussed. Arsenal, I think, is pretty much clear what the team is going to be. Some people think that Jorginho is going to start. I don't know over who. I think it's always between the Havertz position. I think this one floating position in Arsenal is the one which everybody keeps talking about. Interestingly, I think it is because of the game against Aston Villa, and Aston Villa beat Manchester City last week, or in the last game week, is why some fans seem to think that maybe Arteta will prefer the more conservative approach of stacking the midfield with two defensive midfielders and playing with two midfielders at the base rather than a single pivot. So yes, I personally am not so sure. I think Arteta will not change his philosophy or the way he wants to play just because Aston Villa beat City. But I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal, guys. I can tell you that much. So Raya is going to start, no doubts. White, again, Tomiyasu is injured. There's no options. The defenders are pretty much, they choose themselves. Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. The only one position doubtful, Jorginho, Trossard, Havertz. I personally think he's going to start Havertz there. I don't think Jorginho is going to start. That's just my opinion. But maybe people are, enthused by watching the training videos. And Jorginho scored a couple of really awesome goals in that. I don't think anybody's interested in this absolute shambolic roulette. Look at this, guys. Steel 33% were broken. These are the fans voting for Brighton. These are the fans who don't understand what this Roberto De Zerbi guy is going to do. 100% for Dunk, for Gross, for Mitoma, and for Ferguson. Other than that, Dahoud 55%, Pedro 23%, Adingra 52%. That's absolutely insane. Gilmore 38%, Milner 30%, Baleba 33%, Igor 26%. It's just a slaughterhouse, this Brighton team. I would not go touch them. I would not go near them, to be honest with you. Liverpool, really quickly, and then I'll come back and answer your questions. 56% think Alisson's gonna be back. 44% are on Kelleher. There have been rumors, by the way, that Alisson's gonna be back as quicker than expected. But it's hard to say. As well as the rumor team I shared with you as well, it has Alisson. So take that with a pinch of salt. But 56% of the fans seem to think Alisson's gonna be starting, and that's good for Shemikash if he starts, for the sake of God. Trent, Van Dijk, Shemikash, Konate, Endo, Szoboszlai. Jones, again, there's always going to be this issue between Jones, Gravenberch, Hakpo, but otherwise I think Salah, Diaz, and Darwin is going to win his place back according to the fans. Last week he was dropped, but he came back and he provided the assist for that goal by Szoboszlai, which actually made the game safe. So fans seem to think that Darwin's going to get his place back. Edison, Stones, where's Rodri? Yeah, Rodri's back. So Stones, Ruben Diaz, Walker. So Akanji drops out, basically. Walker, Ake, Bernardo Silva, 88%, 100% Rodri. I don't think Kovacic is going to start. Foden, Grealish, Haaland, Alvarez. Nunez, I don't think is going to start. So all the usual suspects: Foden, Alvarez, Haaland, Grealish, Rodri, Bilba, Ake, Walker, Ruben Diaz, Stones, and Ederson start for Manchester City according to the fans. Aston Villa, I don't think we need to predict. I think Cash is not going to start. I think Konsa had a wonderful game against Manchester City. There's no reason for him to drop Konsa now. Even Tillemans, I think, had a fantastic game. Boubacar Kamara had a fantastic game. All of these players. I mean, you can't win if your team doesn't play fantastically against City. And they did. Leon Bailey, my word, he was a live wire that day. Amazing game, guys. I watched that match. I was absolutely loving it. Loving it, guys. Alright, we're done with the predictions. Let me come back and answer your questions. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, I don't know, hit the like button, I guess. Ooh, man. That was some work. Right. We're back. There you go. So who start, Gordon or Alvarez? I would start Harvard. That is a really difficult question, to be honest with you. I think they're both great options. It's hard to choose between one of them. But you know, if I had the option, I'd start both. But I'd choose Alvarez over Gordon because of the fixture. You know, Alvarez plays against Luton, and it's hard. I think ideally you should start both, but if you have to choose one, then Alvarez. I don't think Jorginho would work today against us. Not his biggest fan, but Havertz the best option today in my opinion. I agree with that, CAV. The problem is, I think Jorginho has been looking sharp in training, and that's what the fans are enthused about. And because the same thing happened against City, and City and Arsenal play in the similar way. You know, they play similarly, and you know, if for example City that day was playing with a single pivot in John Stones, which was obviously not as good as half as good as Declan Rice or Rodri, so that is why he got exposed in the midfield a lot of times, and it was not the fault of John Stones, but maybe the system wasn't right, and Aston Villa actually overloaded the midfield, and that is where they took control. And again, Bailey was also a weapon that day because he actually dribbled his way out of really difficult situations for Aston Villa. So you know, it was an amazing game to watch, I'll tell you. So let's see what happens. But I think Arsenal might want to look at that and might want to overload the midfield. And the way they can overload the midfield is by either by kind of playing a double pivot in the midfield as the defensive pairing, or you can do is you can like tell Zinchenko to kind of, you know, move into midfield, and then the defensive midfielders can go at left back and kind of cover up. So you know how Arsenal plays, right? The fullbacks tend to you know, help the midfield or make up an extra man in midfield. So let's see how it works out. So, start Diaby or Semenyo? Diaby is not even starting Aljosa. That's the issue, my friend. I would start if Diaby was starting. I would start Diaby, but I don't think he's starting. I don't think he's getting his place over Leon Bailey. Bailey was amazing, so I would start Semenyo. Get Wong or Gordon for Mbumo. I think Wong is a fantastic option as well, Zara, if you want. I personally went with Gordon because of the next 3 fixtures are good, and you know, I just wanted him because now his ownership is also getting very high, and he's playing most of the games. Newcastle injuries are not getting any easier, and so I think Gordon is just it is his place to lose now. You know, I don't think he's going to go out of the team anyway, and he's the one who's kind of taking the mantle for the attack, and I'll just like the thought of Gordon. Wong is good. He's playing out of position. You know, he's a midfielder. He's kind of playing as a second striker or a striker in that Wolves team, but you know, so I think they're both great options. FPL Jug says, why not get Bailey then? How are Villa's fixtures, Wiz? Villa's fixtures are a little bit, you know, hot and cold, Jugs. I mean, they're playing against Arsenal, then they play against Brentford away. Yes, they've got a great fixture in game week 18 when we are actually looking to captain Watkins, you know. Potentially Watkins is the captain material in this game week. But the thing is, Jugs, I mean, I personally would not go with Bailey because I'm not sure when he has one bad game and he'll lose his place. I personally would not do that, you know. Otherwise, I think and secondly, I don't think he has a potential for a 15-pointer, 20-pointer. I think he's mostly a 1-goal player. And that's what he is as of now. If he improves, then we can consider him. Personally, I'm not considering Bailey. Yes. Allison and Nunes starts here, Sir Crocodile. So I guess there's another update on Twitter, guys. Let me just go on there and see if we have any news. Sorry guys if I'm not talking. I'm just on Twitter trying to check Liverpool team. Who is this? Ivan Schwarzkopf. Who is this guy? But he has like 9,000 followers, and big is followed by the bigger accounts as well. So I guess Allison, Trent, Konchar, Van Dijk, Shimikash, Ando, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Salah. So it is the same team going around. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, even in our private chat now, people are beginning to write that Allison is rumored to start, but I think all these rumors are generating from this tweet. People are asking the Spion Cop if he has some early team news, but he's not. I don't think anything is coming. I don't know. I'm not gonna not gonna kind of feed into this narrative. Like if it is I've already kind of posted it there, right? Christian Fernandez says Mbumo to Palmer for a -4. Yes, Christian. So it's not a -4. Potentially it is a -2 because Mbumo is not going to play anyway. So it's more like a -2. So hopefully that'll settle the nerves. CAV says I'm a Diaby owner and more than happy to start him even if he gets 30 minutes considering my team at the moment. CAV, in your position, I agree. But generally I would not keep Diaby, you know. I mean, of course, if you had like a free transfer, I think you'd potentially, and did not have anything else to do, I think potentially you would move Diaby on as well. So I get where you're coming from, but generally speaking, I would just get rid of Diaby in my team. If you cannot get rid of him this week, then possibly next. Because I think that position has been snapped up by Leon Bailey for now. His goal and performance against City, I don't think that he's gonna get his position back so quickly. So Nehal says Spion Cop also seeing the same rumor and he has not confirmed. Yeah, I agree with that. I saw that tweet actually, Nehal, but I've discussed it once here. But the thing is, as long as they're not confirmed, I do not want to kind of add fuel to the fire. So if it works, it works. Nobody has Allison anyway. So the only thing we're concerned about is whether Shimikas starts or not. So in the rumor, Shimikas is starting. So I'm just happy with that. So did Mbumo and Turner to Gordon and Leno. Alright. Long term, hopefully the hit pays off. I think Fulham defense are really good, and I think that's a good move to make. Did not go for Sanchez because looking to get Colver or James the next game week. I agree with all the moves, Nehal. I think you did the right thing. I think definitely Chelsea defender is much more desirable than the Chelsea keeper, and on the other end, Fulham keeper is much more desirable than a Fulham defender. So I agree with those moves. Wong says, is Mope a good option, especially when Mbumo's out and he's got Sheffield United, Aston Villa in the next 2, and then a possible double for game week 20, and it's likely then he's on penalties now. Wong, I'm listening to all the points you have to make, my friend. Unfortunately, I've had so many bad experiences with Neil Mope. I personally would not like to get him. I'd rather go for somebody like Janelt or Vissa or somebody, I just don't like to go for Mope. But if you take out the bias, my bias out of this opinion, I think generally Mope is an okay option. Yes, I think Mbumo out for like 3-4 weeks, Mope could be definitely an option. Yes, would I get him? I would not. I have a personal bias, but yes, I think he could be an option. Yes, Wong, you're right. I give you that. I did not even consider him. Let me tell you that much. But yeah, he is an option. Yes, that's all he is. Nothing more, nothing less. CAV says makes sense to do Johnston to Dubravka for free regardless of my hesitance over getting James Colville in. I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is Johnston, the thing with Crystal Palace is I'm not sure what happened to Crystal Palace though. Just a second. Let me before I just a second here. Yeah. So their fixtures are terrible, obviously, and I mean, you know, sometimes holding your keepers in these games. The problem with this transfer CAV for me is he's a playing keeper in the end, right? So it's just for me, it does not make sense to drop a playing keeper because the ceiling of goalkeepers is low. And this week, making Johnston to Dubravka is absolutely not the right move for me because he's playing against Spurs, you know, and he's playing against Spurs, and I do not expect Dubravka to get a lot of points anyway. So why to waste a transfer, CAV? That is the issue, you know. So better to get a player. If you like, for example, you want to get Colville and you want to get Dubravka, but you want to make one move. So why not make the Colville move this week and make the Dubravka move next week, because you already have a playing keeper and there's no urgency to get Johnston out. You know, so that's my only point. Why to take out a playing keeper? You know, play him. The ceiling's not that high. For example, Dubravka's ceiling is what? 6 points, 5 points this week ceiling, and the floor is 0 points. If Spurs can score 3-4 goals, who knows what's gonna happen? So yeah. I would not go for Dubravka this week. I would keep him. Maybe make your other transfers and keep Johnston. FPL Jug says, what about Sterling? Because I think Sterling is a fantastic option, Jugs, especially looking at the upcoming fixtures. I think to replace Mbumo, you can definitely. I thought about Sterling myself, but then I got scared looking at 3 Chelsea players in my team with Palmer, Colville and Sterling. My hand would not let me press the confirm button. My hand developed his own brain muscle power, and my hand did not let my finger click on the mouse, and my hand said change Sterling to Gordon, so I did. But otherwise I think Sterling is a fantastic option, jokes aside. Geeta says, hi Sam, is it worth to Sam, is it worth to good Arsenal handrail? Geeta, I'm not sure if I understand your question. My starting 11, I'll show you. Hang on. This is my starting 11. Start Douglas Luiz or Archer? That's a very difficult question, Sarfaroz. The thing is, I would take a chance with Archer. Although Douglas Luiz is on penalties for Aston Villa, I'm not sure how many penalties they're gonna win. Archer is playing against Brentford, a depleted Brentford, I'd say. So basically, I'd just start Archer. If you think that Aston Villa are gonna win a penalty against Arsenal, then start Douglas Luiz. Otherwise, start Archer. Because if they don't play well against Brentford at home with a depleted attack and midfield, then I don't know what they're gonna do. Nehal says 8 minutes to deadline now. The 6 minutes to deadline, guys. Lock your teams, all of you, please. CAV says, I have no Newcastle coverage. I like your explanation though. Plan was rotating Johnston plus Areola. Worst time for Areola injury. I agree with that, CAV, but keepers don't have a very high ceiling, and making transfers just for the sake of it, I just do not like it. For example, if you see, I stuck with Pickford as long as I was on, as long as I did not play my wildcard. I never make a keeper transfer. This week, unfortunately, I had to make one, and even for a hit, because I did not have a playing keeper. If I had a playing keeper, no matter if he was playing Manchester City, I would not make the transfer. Is it worth to hold Gabriel? I think it's worth to hold Gabriel, Geeta. Yes, definitely. Why not? I mean, Arsenal are playing well. Yes, they're not keeping clean sheets, but there are not many defenders who are keeping clean sheets this season anyway. So if you sell Gabriel, where are you gonna go? That's the issue. I would keep Gabriel. He's not even expensive. So I would keep him. Yes, guys. 5 minutes to deadline. Please lock your teams. If you have any questions, quickly ask me. But go lock your teams. My team is already locked. I'm just gonna refresh it for everybody to see. Let me see my bench order. See, even with my bench order, I'm a little bit confused whether I want to go for Art. I'd actually put Lascelles number 2, and I'd put the Arch because I've got Dubravka here, so I'd put Archer in front of him. I think that's all I'm gonna do. Let me refresh my team for everybody to see. So this is gonna be my final team, so there's gonna be no changes to it. And there you go. Excuse me. So Dubravka, Colville, Gabriel, Shimikash, Gordon, Palmer, Saka, Son, Salah, Watkins, and Haaland. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, that is fine. I agree with you. I'll do the same. Sanjay says Ariola and Turner already have 3 Newcastle. Okay to save the transfer or upgrade the keeper. I have 0.7 in the bank but need cash for getting Watkins. Ariola and Turner, I don't think, Sanjay, they're gonna start. Neither Ariola nor Turner are gonna start. So basically, if you make a transfer this week, you're just taking a -2 rather than a -4 hit, because it's a non-playing player anyway, and on the off chance if he keeps the clean sheet, it's all the better. If you don't have the option to get a Newcastle player, that means you can go for Dubravka. I'd suggest you think about upgrading Turner to Fabianski. So either Fabianski plays or Ariola plays, you'll always have a playing keeper. That is one option. The second option is to go for the Chelsea keeper and Sanchez, because they have some good fixtures coming up. Third option is obviously to kind of what you're saying, to kind of just play with 10 players and don't and just hope that Ariola plays. But if I was you, I'd possibly upgrade Ariola. I'd get rid of him. CAV says we'll start Ariola just in case he starts. Agree, Johnston is fine for this week, not worth the hit. Think I'll just do Mitchell to James, going for the upside, attacking potential. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good ploy. CAV. Aljosa says start Semenyo or Dia. I would start Semenyo, my friend. At least he's gonna start. That's all we can hope for, right? What he does is later. See, after that performance by Leon Bailey, if you think Diaby is gonna start, I don't think he is. Personally, if you ask me, I don't think Diaby is gonna start. Actually, let me go through my notes as well and tell you what I think that what have I predicted as to who is going to start between Leon Bailey and Diaby. Yeah, so according to me, Bailey starts. There's no chance for Diaby. George says, hey Wiz, just joined the stream. Ariola or Dubravka? I mean, I've put Ariola, Christian put Ariola as a playing keeper and put Dubravka on the bench. In case Ariola doesn't start, Dubravka's going to come in anyway. George, we've got a rumored Liverpool team. It is not confirmed by any of the big accounts, but if you want, I can take you to that team, because I don't have any confirmations, right? So saying something is not good for me either. I'll just take you to this. Just take you to. Just a second. I'm not here to kind of show you my Twitter. But where is that tweet? Every time I want to tweet, I just can't find it for some reason. And later on, when I show these videos, I get copyrights as well. Insane. What is the name of that guy, man? Just a second. Let me just open the account, actually. Ivan Shwakov. I don't know. Ivan Shwakov. Let me show you guys. Man, what does a person have to do? There you go. Ivan Shwakov. I don't even know who this guy is, honestly. He is the one who's tweeted. Allison and Darwin starts. Ivan Shwakov. Where is this guy? Konsa starts. See, people are slowly starting to tweet. There you go. This is the team. What? Oh, insane. I'm on Fantasy Football Fix. What am I doing? There you go, guys. Start Archer, Gabriel, Diaby. I would start Archer and Gabriel. They're both gonna start anyway. 90-minute players. Todd says thanks, was another great stream. Cheers, Todd. You're most welcome. had lots of fun as well, my friend. Ivan is not very reliable. I know, but even Spine Cop said that I have heard about the same rumors. So they're rumors, George. They're rumors. I am not going to confirm it, or I'm not going to deny it. They are rumors. That is the rumor. So I'm going to go back to my team. So anybody who wants to see my team, I just hope my captaincy is on Aland and vice captaincy is on Salah. Cheers, Zara. You're most welcome. Most welcome. So guys, 8 seconds to the deadline. I hope you've made your transfers. I hope you've done what you had to do, and I hope you've saved your teams. There you go. It is deadline. Thanks, Wiz. Don't know how I've not taken a hit, but feel fine with my team. You talked some sense into me. CAV, I honestly, if you ask me, I don't like taking hits, and I don't like promoting hits either. Sometimes we are in a FOMO. Everybody's transferring in Dubravka, but people are transferring in Dubravka because they do not have a playing keeper, but we go with the flow sometimes, and we need to kind of reconsider our perspective ourselves. But I'm happy that you're not taking a hit, and so you're basically 4 points better off anyway. FPL Jug says transfer made with Sterling for Mbumo. Haaland captain. I've got 3 Chelsea now. Cheers, Jug. I think that's the right way to go. Although it's very hard to kind of see 3 Chelsea in your team, but I think it's the right way to go. Even though the Everton fixture is not possibly the game for them, I think it's going to be from the next week. But it's better to get them early rather than to get them late. George says, okay, did cash to Trent for a -4. My bench is completely injured. Didn't wildcard because of Flecken and Ferguson. All right. Well, Trent is a luxury not everybody can afford, man. So basically, Shimmy Cash is a poor man's Trent at this moment in time. Nehal says, honestly, I hope Alisson is back so Salah is involved more in the attack than only be defending. Absolutely, Nehal. I think Kelleher is getting nowhere close to this team if Alisson comes back. I mean, it's just a different quality of the goalkeeper, Alisson. Amazing goalkeeper. CAV says, I agree, and your point with regarding Dubravka was great. -4 versus Johnston means he needs a clean sheet versus Spurs. Bury is another West Ham win, and Ariola doesn't get his place back. Well, that happens, CAV. Then there's no other option than to get Ariola out. But at least you get 1 more week to think about it, right? Lighter says, hey Wiz, just got home from a restaurant and missed the deadline but made my move last night. Hey Lighter, welcome back. And it's fine if you made your move, but never miss the deadline, my friend. The wizard community never misses the deadline. We always should be on time, Lighter. As you know, wizards are never early or late. They're always on time, my friend. May the RSB Green says, Nehal, cheers Wiz, back to sleep. Good night, Nehal. Have a good one, and may the RSB Green, my friend. George says, Captain Salah. Palace fans all say it's going to be a mauling. Also, Liverpool won 7-0 in an early kickoff versus Palace last time when Salah came off the bench for a hat-trick. Well, George, it's fine. I think even Haaland this week is a fantastic captaincy option. Going with the differential in Salah is fine. As long as you're captaining one out of Salah or Haaland, I personally don't see a problem with that. Outside that, it's a bit difficult. CAV says the concept of waiting another week to make certain moves is very underrated in FPL. Well, CAV, slowly we're learning, right? We'll I learned the hard way, but I think once you don't take a hit and you go into the game week and your team is looking all right, it makes you feel better. It just makes you feel better. The fear of missing out vanishes because you can't make the transfer, and I think the sense of this journal security comes back. Lighter says, sorry, Pumo to Palmer was all. That's fine. I think that's a great move to make. Chelsea have got some decent fixtures, my friend, and I think he's a great option to have. So before I kind of call the stream off, let me see how many people we got watching. We got 10 people. So guys, I think this week I would kind of skip the predictions because the turnaround time was very less between the game weeks. So and the stream was very the questions were kind of flowing. So I've been talking for a long time. I guess today we'll skip the predictions and let's get back to the predictions from next week. It's the Champions League midweek. Was there any news about Bentley starting? I think he is going to start because I think Jose Sa is out. I'm not sure if Jose Sa is back. I think he was injured. Basically, let me see if there's any news about Sa being back. I'm not even sure how many people have Bentley or how many people are going to get Bentley, but just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna. When I was making my notes, I had this in mind. Another 4 million goalkeeper. Yeah. So basically, Jose Sa is back. It should not be serious. Yeah. So Jose Sa is back. Bentley is not gonna start. Bentley is definitely not going to start. Jose Sa is back. He says Jose Sa is 100% fit. That's something with conviction, George. So no chance of Bentley starting, my friend. Surfrose says thanks Wiz for amazing stream. You're always welcome, Surfrose. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. So guys, I guess with this we come to an end of another edition of the Deadline stream. I thank you all for being here with me for the Game Week 16 Deadline stream, and I really hope to see you back for Game Week 17. And regarding Light Race, I would like to see you all here on time for the Deadline. Hopefully, but I'm glad you made the transfer though, my friend. Right guys, cheers. I hope you have a great game week. I hope you have a great week in general. Lots of football for us to see this week. Enjoy your time, and I hope the games are as exciting as they were in game week 15. I loved watching the football this week. Cheers guys. FPL Visit signing out. Take care. Have a great game week. May the arrows be green. Bye bye.